I never considered that thinking about your problems all the time and talking about your problems all the time literally make the problems grow.
That's right. I mean, it's the number one symptom of depression is what they call rumination, this pathological obsessing
Hmm.
over your pain.
Isn't it interesting that he never considered how thinking and talking about the same stuff over and over and over again and never letting go of that one story doesn't make it better, doesn't make it right, but only reinforce the pattern, only reinforce the emotion, only sink you deeper in more negative state of consciousness. This is because what you focus on expand. So the more energy you give to that story, to what happened, to those people, to that emotion, the more you give it your energy, the more you give it life. And so when people get stuck on ruminating and thinking and seeing and remembering certain stories, certain things that happened in the past, whether it was recently or in the past, all they do is bring back the emotion, bring back the victim mentality, bring back the thought, the belief, and it's okay. But if you keep on doing that, at some point it becomes habitual. At some point you start to shift your perception, you start to shift your identity, you start to shift your model of the world to the point that now the story starts to define you, who you are, how you act, how you see yourself. You start to pity yourself, you start to feel angry, you start to feel powerless, you start to create depression, all those different emotions that now become who you are. And so it's important to become aware that yes, stuff happens in every single one of our life, and sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes you have to deal with it, but you have to separate what happens and the story that the mind creates. Because if you let it, if you don't have self-control over the story that your mind creates, it will go into some very deep dark corner, and it will deeper and deeper and deeper until you're able to stop it. And we all have been in situations like this when something happened that was maybe like this, and then the mind gradually makes it bigger and bigger and bigger until the point when we end up so anxious, so scared, so overwhelmed by something that was tiny at the beginning, but that the mind has blown out of proportion. And if you get stuck there without the ability to know how to deal with your mind, how to deal with your thought, how to deal with your emotions, you remain stuck and you remain powerless at the effect of your mind. So our story creates our life, but it's important to understand how the mind works. It's important to understand how you can get a grip over those stories. It's important to have the self-awareness. And even more significant is to be able to deal with the underlying emotions that keep on triggering us when something happens in the future. Because the challenge that most people experience is that they never deal with the emotions of those negative events that just keeps on accumulating. And every time something happens, it just presses that button, it just triggers a whole heavy bag of messed up emotion, and boom, the mind goes right back and bring up all those memories and events and anger, and all those emotions become so overwhelming. And every time it just keeps on growing. And so we have to learn to deal, to let go, to really feel those emotions, right? To feel, what did I feel? What is the anger, the hurt, the anger, the shame, the guilt? No matter what the emotion is, we have to learn to feel safe into feeling those emotions, into accepting those emotions, into letting go in a healthy way of those emotions, instead of simply repressing or distracting ourselves or numbing ourselves or just projecting it on others in the world. Because the more you do that, the more it accumulates inside your body, and progressively it builds up until you start to erupt, until it starts to affect your behaviors, your self-image, your confidence, your life, your interactions, your relationship, everything, because your body holds the truth. And so if you find yourself often being triggered in certain things that happens in your life, this is a clear indication that this is something that you really need to deal with. And often it's not the story, because the mind creates a rationale and a story and it's easy to get lost in the story that the mind creates and all the thoughts and memory that the mind brings up. But what you really want to deal with is the underlying emotion, the messenger that is trying to show you how you really felt. And when you can go through that, this is really where the healing happens. This is really where you can get free, when you can let go and grow from that experience so that you no longer control and affect your life. But the more you deny the emotion, the more you deny and try to push it away, the more you try to just justify it or patch it up with some certain things and never deal with those emotions that are there, that you know, that are just waiting to be triggered. And this is why things like shadow work is so important, because it can show you really what you hold in your shadow, what you hold in your subconscious mind that you're not even aware of, that keeps on creating, attracting, perpetuating certain things in your life. And so like Carl Jung said, as long as you don't make the unconscious conscious, you will continue to direct your life, and you will call it fate, where all along it was just part of you that you repressed, suppressed, or denied, where you hold a lot of emotions, a lot of negative perception because of things that happened in your past that you need to start bringing into the light and integrate. And when you start to do that, you start to integrate all of this, and you're getting freedom over certain situations, certain things that used to happen, that used to bring tremendous amount of emotion and anger and shame and guilt. And now you respond, and you are, and you're being, and you're expressing yourself in a different way, and you're attracting different things in your life, and you're breaking patterns, and you're doing quantum leaps in your life, and you look back and you notice how different your life looks like. So yes, we gotta learn to stop ruminating, to stop obsessing over the same old thing, the same old story, complaining about it, gossiping about it, and really deal with what is underneath, the emotion that keeps on making us angry, that keeps on making us hurt, that keeps on making, us wanting to talk about it, wanting to express it, because we've always been denying the emotion. I guarantee you, you'll have tremendous sense of growth and liberation from those episodes, from those triggering moments and triggering things that keep on happening in your life. And look, if you need help in your journey, if you don't know where to start or what to do or how to do it, you can book a session down in the comment with the link down in the comment, and together we can have a look and we can go down to the root cause of what is happening and how it's affecting your life, and help you dissolve that and get you through that. And so the link is down in the description, guys. I will see you in my next video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like this kind of content. I'll see you next time.